What if I told you that getting divorced in America in 2026 could look completely different than it did just a few years ago? New legal changes are reshaping how couples split assets, determine custody, and navigate one of life's most challenging transitions. Whether you're considering divorce, going through one, or just want to understand your rights, these updates could dramatically impact your future.
Stay with me, because what you're about to learn might just save you thousands of dollars and years of heartache. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any important legal updates that could affect your life. Today, we're diving deep into something that impacts millions of Americans every year: divorce law. And let me tell you, 2026 has brought some significant changes that you absolutely need to know about.
Now, I know divorce isn't exactly the most cheerful topic, but knowledge is power, especially when it comes to protecting yourself and your family. The landscape of American divorce law has been evolving rapidly, with several states implementing new rules around property division, spousal support, child custody, and even how digital assets are handled. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's break down everything you need to know about divorce law in 2026. Let's start with one of the biggest changes sweeping across multiple states: the modernization of property division rules, especially when it comes to digital assets and cryptocurrency. If you've been following the news, you know that cryptocurrency and digital assets have exploded in value over the past decade. Well, courts have finally caught up with the times. In 2026, at least 15 states have implemented specific guidelines for how Bitcoin, Ethereum, NFTs, and other digital assets are valued and divided during divorce proceedings. This is huge because just a few years ago, many divorcing couples found themselves in legal gray areas, with some partners hiding assets in cryptocurrency wallets or claiming their digital holdings were worthless. Now, courts are requiring full disclosure of all digital wallets, and they're bringing in specialized forensic accountants who can trace blockchain transactions. If you're going through a divorce and either you or your spouse has invested in cryptocurrency, you need to document everything. Screenshots, wallet addresses, transaction histories, everything matters now.
Another major shift we're seeing involves spousal support, commonly known as alimony. Traditionally, alimony was often awarded based on the length of the marriage and the income disparity between spouses. While those factors still matter, several states have introduced what's being called durational limits tied to marriage length. For marriages lasting less than 5 years, some states now cap alimony at half the length of the marriage. For marriages between 5 and 20 years, the duration is typically equal to the length of the marriage. Only marriages exceeding 20 years might qualify for permanent or indefinite alimony, and even then, it's not guaranteed.
This represents a significant departure from the old system, where alimony could continue indefinitely until the recipient remarried or one party passed away. The reasoning behind these changes is to encourage financial independence and reflect modern realities where both partners are often capable of supporting themselves. But here's the catch: these rules vary dramatically by state. California, New York, Florida, and Texas have all taken different approaches, so your location matters tremendously. Now let's talk about child custody, because this is where some of the most progressive changes are happening. The traditional model in many states favored primary custody with one parent and visitation rights for the other. In 2026, we're seeing a strong push toward equal parenting time as the default starting point. The idea is simple. Unless there are documented safety concerns or one parent is genuinely unable to care for the children, courts are presuming that kids benefit from spending equal time with both parents.
States like Kentucky, Arizona, and Missouri have strengthened their shared parenting laws, making it much harder for one parent to claim sole custody without substantial evidence of unfitness. This doesn't mean every custody arrangement will be a perfect 50-50 split. Courts still consider practical factors like school districts, work schedules, and the children's preferences if they're old enough. But the burden of proof has shifted.
Instead of one parent having to fight for equal time, the parent seeking to limit the other's custody now has to justify why equal time wouldn't serve the children's best interests. There's also been fascinating development in how courts handle relocation cases. If one parent wants to move more than 50 or 100 miles away, depending on the state, they now face much stricter scrutiny. Courts are weighing the moving parent's reasons against the disruption to the child's relationship with the other parent. Job opportunities alone are often no longer sufficient justification.
The parent wanting to relocate typically needs to present a comprehensive plan showing how they'll maintain the other parent's relationship with the child, including who will bear the travel costs.
Technology has also transformed how custody arrangements work. Virtual visitation is now written into custody orders in many jurisdictions. This means scheduled video calls, virtual attendance at school events, and digital communication are legally protected parts of parenting time. For parents separated by distance, this is a game changer. Courts can enforce these digital touchpoints just like they would enforce in-person visitation.
Let's shift gears and talk about the division of retirement accounts and pensions, because this is another area with critical updates. The process for splitting 401ks, IRAs, and pension plans has been streamlined in many states. Qualified Domestic Relations Orders, or QDROs, are now being processed faster, and there are clearer guidelines about how different types of retirement accounts should be valued and divided.
Here's something many people don't realize. If you contributed to a retirement account before getting married, that premarital portion is typically considered separate property and isn't subject to division. But any growth or contributions during the marriage are usually marital property. The new rules in 2026 provide much clearer formulas for calculating these divisions, reducing litigation and making settlements more predictable.
Social media evidence has become increasingly important in divorce proceedings. Courts are now regularly admitting Facebook posts, Instagram stories, TikTok videos, and dating app profiles as evidence. If you're going through a divorce, assume that everything you post online will be seen by your spouse's attorney. We've seen cases where someone claiming financial hardship and seeking alimony was caught posting pictures from expensive vacations.
We've seen custody battles influenced by posts showing irresponsible behavior. Your digital footprint matters more than ever. Prenuptial and postnuptial agreements have also gained stronger legal standing in 2026. Courts are upholding these agreements more consistently as long as they meet certain fairness standards. Both parties need independent legal representation when signing. Full financial disclosure must occur, and the terms can't be unconscionable. But if those boxes are checked, courts are increasingly willing to enforce these agreements even if they seem one-sided.
This represents a shift toward respecting the autonomy of adults to make their own agreements about their financial futures.
One emerging area that's creating new legal challenges involves business valuation and division. With more people running online businesses, side hustles, and digital enterprises, determining the value of these ventures during divorce has become incredibly complex. Is that YouTube channel marital property? What about that Etsy shop or that consulting business?
In 2026, courts are applying more sophisticated methods to value these businesses, considering not just current income, but future earning potential, brand value, and intellectual property.
The handling of marital debt has also been clarified in many jurisdictions. The old assumption that debt would simply be split 50-50 is giving way to more nuanced analysis. Courts now look at who incurred the debt, whether it benefited the marriage, and each party's ability to repay. If one spouse racked up credit card debt on personal expenses without the other's knowledge, they might be assigned more responsibility for that debt.
This is particularly important in cases involving student loans, business debts, or one spouse's gambling or addiction issues.
So, there you have it, a comprehensive look at how divorce law has evolved in 2026 and what these changes mean for you. Whether it's the new rules around digital assets, the push toward equal parenting time, stricter standards for alimony duration, or the increasing importance of social media evidence, the divorce landscape is dramatically different than it was just a few years ago.
Remember, while I've given you a solid overview of national trends, divorce law remains primarily a state matter, and the specific rules in your jurisdiction can vary significantly. If you're facing a divorce or thinking about one, consulting with a qualified family law attorney in your state is absolutely essential. These laws are complex, they're constantly evolving, and having professional guidance can make an enormous difference in protecting your rights and your future.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit from this information. Drop a comment below if you have questions or if there are other legal topics you'd like me to cover, and don't forget to subscribe so you stay updated on all the legal changes that could impact your life.
Thanks so much for watching, and remember, knowledge is your best protection. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.